Hello, beautiful people. You're here with Victoria, aka Lady V. On V Sports, we have another episode of Fun with F1 for you. Today is all about the Russian Grand Prix, which was another thrilling race. This season really is panning out to be an exciting one. The past couple seasons have been Lewis Hamilton, oh, Max, and oh, a sprinkle of Valtteri. But this season really just is so exciting. There's so many unexpected twists and turns. For the Russian Grand Prix, the stage was set for Lando Norris. He had his maiden pole in qualifying. He was so excited. He was followed by Carlos Sainz, who had his first front row qualifying, and George Russell was P3. So we really are on this brink of a new era in Formula One. But at the end of the day, it was Lewis Hamilton who stole the show. He raced expertly from P4 to get his historic 100th win. No driver in F1 history has ever accomplished such a thing. Last season, Lewis passed Michael Schumacher when he won his 92nd race. So he's had the record for most Formula One race victories for a while. But number 100, a century of wins, is a unique accomplishment in sports. At the Russian Grand Prix, Lewis started P4. He had a slow start that actually sent him down to 7th, but he battled his way back. At the top of the race, Lando Norris and Carlos Sainz really battled it out. Carlos Sainz actually jumped ahead at one of the early turns and just kind of really established his dominance, but Lando kept racing, and by the time everybody pitted, it was clearly Lando that took the lead and just was racing his heart out. And then the rain came, and we know that weather causes unpredictability in all of the races, so this was another race that, the rain had a big factor. There was about 10 laps to go when it really started coming down, and Lewis was right behind Lando, and both the Mercedes and the McLaren garages were telling their racers to pit to get some intermediate tires to make it easier to navigate the rain. At first, they both didn't listen. They both, wanted to race it out. But after a couple laps, Lewis, with his veteran experience, with his trusting the team, listened and pitted for some intermediate tires. Whereas Lando, he's still a young racer, still kind of learning how to navigate the elements. He even told his team to shut up, and let him keep racing. So you gotta love Lando's heart and his grit and determination. Unfortunately, his instincts just haven't been honed enough, and he started slipping around the track, and with just a couple laps left, he slid far enough off a turn that Lewis just kind of snuck up and took the lead and won the race, his 100th race. This was an important victory because it was Lewis's first win since Silverstone in July. So, Mercedes has been struggling this year to keep up with Red Bull. Even in qualifying this weekend, Lewis accidentally tapped the front service guy in the pit. He just kind of had a sloppy weekend leading up to the actual race. And, for anybody watching, that's maybe a casual fan, we see these superstar drivers that, are athletes on their own. But races like this show that Formula One is a team sport. Lewis had to listen to his team that said, it's time to pit, let's get you new tires. They aren't just out here racing by themselves. And of course, it was so heartbreaking to see Lando post on social media afterwards how heartbroken he was and how he let this one get away. But I think Lando should be excited about his future, and he's learning so much, and he's already doing so well as such a young driver. I think he has a bright future ahead. His first race win is coming so soon, so it'll be exciting to just keep watching him learn and grow, and his time is coming. I know it. Of course, we have Max Verstappen, who had an incredible race as well. He started at the back of the grid because Red Bull exchanged his engine, and he masterfully just climbed up the grid. He passed Valtteri Bottas early, and the Constructors' Championship is so close. We would have thought Bottas maybe gave him a little more of a challenge, but he kind of just let him slip by. But Verstappen just climbed up the grid and ended up finishing in second, which was so great for him. So even after all this excitement of, we had Lando and Carlos and George Russell in the front, we ended up with a Lewis Max podium. And Carlos actually did finish third, so it was his third podium this season. He's somebody to keep an eye out for as well. He's a skilled racer that fights really hard. Max Verstappen and Lewis, now the Drivers' Championship is only separated by 2 points. With this race, Lewis did take the lead. So he is on track right now for his 8th championship, which would break Michael Schumacher's record and make him the winningest F1 driver of all time. But that's an only 2-point gap. We have a lot of racing still to go. And, they just added Cutter to the 2021 schedule, so that will be part of the schedule. It's an intense season for sure. There's just a lot of energy, even between teams. We saw Aston Martin, Lance Stroll kind of cut off Sebastian Vettel here at the Russian Grand Prix. Antonio Giovinazzi is still racing for his seat at Alfa Romeo. It has not been confirmed that he is staying with that team yet. It's an exciting season. We really have no idea what's going to happen. So we are off this next week, but we will return to racing the week after with the Turkish Grand Prix. Stay tuned for that. Will Lewis Hamilton get his 8th Drivers' Championship, or will Max Verstappen come and snatch it away? Red Bull is in front of the Constructors' Championship. Valtteri Bottas is still fighting to finish strong, even though he is going to Alfa Romeo next season. But it is going to be a good season. So stay tuned with us at V Sports, V with 3 I's. And we will see how this plays out. Take care.